Hey you guys, it's Soy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a mukbang. We're going to be eating Hainan chicken from Side Chick in Arcadia. I got it. I picked it up yesterday. Decided to reheat it, eat it. I really like it. We have some yummy egg noodles. Check it out. With their chicken. They have this new roasted chicken that I'm really excited to try. Apparently it's really crispy. Some Hainan rice. Some pickles, cucumbers. Technically cucumbers are pickles. So that, some veggies, and some like chili ginger sauce. Delicious. But today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I think probably about, I want to talk about like things that I'm interested in right now and things on my mind. So like The Office, I've been really obsessed with that. Gender questions, I've been getting a lot of that recently, so I want to talk about that. And as always, I'm going to leave timestamps in the description down below, so if you guys want to check out a specific point or talking point, you can always check out the description. As always, let's begin the mukbang. I'm actually really excited. I was supposed to film an ASMR with this because I thought it'd make really interesting sounds. Like the slurping of the noodles, and then the chickens, and then the veggies. Like, listen to this. So good. But I forgot it's the holiday season, so like everyone's home and my neighbors, and I live in an apartment, so my neighbors are kind of loud. So you can hear through, especially since I filmed near this wall. I'm trying to clean the rest of my apartment so that I have another place to film, but working on that, work in progress, you know. So we're gonna begin eating. These are the noodles. Look at this. I actually didn't know they had egg noodles. I knew they had cold noodles, but I love egg noodles. It's like my favorite type of noodles. There's just something about them that I like more than rice noodles. There's some veggies in this as well. I think this is bok choy. Some rice. Let's try this one. This is their new roasted chicken, so that roast. Dip it in some of the sauce this comes with. Bro, I'm like literally so bad with chopsticks. That's delicious. It's just like really nicely seasoned fried chicken. If you guys don't know, Hainan chicken is like a really interesting type of, obviously, chicken dish from the Hainan region. And usually it's kind of like boiled, and then you kind of use the juices from the soup to make like the rice. It's dipped in a couple sauces, but Side Chick is my favorite place in LA, mostly because they have this delicious garlic ginger sauce. I don't have it with me right now because with the other chicken, but for this one, you dip in this chili sauce. It's also really ridiculously good. And it's like such good flavor. Chicken's really tender. The taste is there. It's really great. If you haven't had it before, you should definitely try it. It's like, I feel like it looks really basic and really boring, but like it's so comforting and it tastes like the best thing ever. I don't even know how to describe it. It literally just tastes like home cooked, but with like so much flavor for something that's so like boring, you know? Reminds me of myself. So lately, I've been really obsessed with a show. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called The Office. And I actually like it a lot because there's a specific character on the show. Like, I like a lot of the characters. Like, at first I was kind of annoyed with some of them because I was like, wow, this person's like so annoying. But then as you like move along the seasons, I'm on season 5 now, by the way, there's a lot of character development and you kind of like feel for each character because you're kind of like, oh, this person's like this. And this is why they're like, the reason like they're like this. It's really like a family now at the office. But obviously my favorite character is Dwight. He's like so funny. Just because like, I think it's like not humanly possible to be so ridiculous, you know? And even when it comes to characters in real life, like people, like my favorite people that I think are so funny are just like characters themselves. That's why I like Dwight a lot. But I was talking to people about it, and it matches my MBTI, but a lot of people say that I remind them of Michael. Obviously, definitely not racist. I'm not racist. Michael is a little ignorant, a little racist. But the stuff he does, like, I see him doing and I'm like, wow, that's like something I would do. And at first it was kind of giving me kind of like a little bit of a complex, because I was like, wow, like that's really annoying. Like, a lot of people think of Michael as annoying. They don't respect him and all that stuff. I think I have a good balance of it. Well, I hope I have a good balance of it. But you know what? The cool thing about Michael is, if you watch a show, if you don't watch a show, Michael's character is kind of like, he's the boss of the office, but he's kind of unaware but aware at the same time. Like, he's not self-aware, I think, but he's very aware of situations. So when it comes to self-awareness, he's not very good at practicing, like, you shouldn't do this, or like he just does ridiculous things because he wants to, which a lot of times I have to relate to, because I do that too. I'm very like, okay, I really want to do this, so I do it. Very impulsive, right? Michael's the same way, but he's not very so he's not very self-aware at that point where he's like, okay, I didn't know that I went too far. But he's very aware of like other people and observing other situations. So, I mean, with those aspects, I feel like I really relate to him. That was like really deep, but it's a really funny show. If you haven't seen it before, you should definitely see it. A lot of good quotes. But then when I was watching it, I was like, wow, why do I feel such a strong issue with, you know, people calling me Michael? And then I come to realize that, like, I just don't like being boxed, you know? Like, just being boxed in who I am, what I like, or like what I like to do. Like, anytime someone thinks they know me or like knows something about me, I automatically go, no, they're wrong. And then I just do the complete opposite. I'm still trying to dissect the reasoning for this, because in my mind, it's like not very healthy, you know? Like, I know it's not healthy, but I keep practicing it, which is like, don't tell me what to do. But I don't know if this stems from like some childhood thing. Which honestly, it personally could have stemmed from something from my childhood where I was always feeling like I was boxed in. Anytime I'm boxed into some type of thing, I don't know if there's like a weird disconnect, because when I was younger, I didn't like that. And now I just don't, I don't know if I care or don't care. That's like the issue too. There's a lot of thoughts going on right now in my head. You can't tell. I don't know if you guys have the same issue, but we're talking about this other day, and like something that recently came up was like, I've been getting a lot of questions about my gender, and I think it has to do with something about my short hair. And then also, I tend to wear very like unisex, tomboyish clothing. I've always been like that ever since I was a kid. I don't really like dresses. I don't really like dressing up. I like makeup as a form of art. Like, I like to do makeup for fun, but I also am very not great at it. So sometimes I feel a little bit like self-conscious about wearing makeup. So I'm like, oh, my foundation doesn't match, or like I'm not good at doing this or that. Like, I just don't really want to even try, because I'm just like, I feel like I'm never going to get better at it. So recently, when everyone's been asking about my gender on the internet for some odd reason, like, I've been getting kind of like, I haven't been getting offended, but I've been getting a little defensive about it. Like, of course I'm a girl, or like, what else do you think I am? And I don't know why. And then I addressed it, and then I went back and I was like, I shouldn't address it. But it wasn't that I felt like I shouldn't address it. It was more of like, do I really need to address it? Why does it really matter, right? In my mind, I don't think it matters, but I can't tell, you know? It's like a weird situation. See, like, I'm just like rambling. Hopefully someone out there understands what I'm talking about. Honestly, I think it goes back all the way to just about perception, right? Like, how the world perceives me versus how I perceive myself. So it causes issues because I can't find a correlation sometimes. So maybe the biggest issue is just, I just don't enjoy that, you know? But that's like a personal preference. Like, I feel like I get a lot of questions that sometimes I don't know the answers to. And I'm the first to admit that I don't know the answers to. Because a lot of people are good at like BSing, which I hate. Like when you ask them a question and they're like, blah, 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 blah. It has to be a blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do you have facts? Can you prove it? And then they're usually like, no, I can't. And I'm like, why did you even tell me? Because I don't believe in just talking because of talking, or like making things up just because you want to be semi-right. Sometimes I do it for fun, but not in seriousness. And some people do it too seriously where they just give a correct answer. But honestly, that's not my personality at all. Like, I'd rather just be wrong and admit that I don't know something than to pretend I do. Because honestly, I'm like a huge believer in like, what's the word? I'm a huge believer in learning. And basically, if you're learning, you definitely don't know the answer, so I'm glad I'm not filming an ASMR. It's so freaking loud. Do you hear the cars? Yeah, so that's basically it. Like, I don't really know how to dissect it even more. I don't think it's that big of an issue, but now that's been brought up to my attention, I'm just like, maybe it is an issue. But you know what? I always grew up around a bunch of boys. Like my little brother. Like literally, out of my siblings, I'm the first girl before my sister came out in like 2001 was her, and like 10 years later after me. So 10 years of my life I was just spent with boys. And out of 6 kids, like I was the oldest girl, so there was a lot of like pressure on me to become very strong and very independent very early. And I really accept and embrace that. Like I was never a girly girl growing up. I still am not. I mean, I like girly things like Taylor Swift and like all that other stuff, but when it comes down to it, like I don't think your gender should define what you like or like how you should dress or what you should do. Like you should do what's comfortable to you, and if I feel comfortable wearing unisex clothes and having short hair, then I should be comfortable. And that goes out to anyone out there that's also like, you know, a boy that wants to wear makeup, or like, you know, other girls that, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your gender is, and it doesn't matter what you do to like showcase it. You should just be comfortable with who you are and like what you like. And I think that the word was cognitive dissonance was coming from the fact that like I truly believe that you should be who you are, period. Like no matter what. But then at the same time, recently I've been feeling a lot of maybe it's social media that's been causing this, a lot of social energy causing me to like have to feel like I have to be a certain way. And I think it's really making me feel really trapped in a sense. Like, okay, well, this is what they say I should be, but this is what I feel like I am. So what should I follow? And I think I'm starting to reset a little bit. And I think after thinking about it for a while, it really goes back down to like whatever makes you comfortable. If I'm living a life where I'm unhappy and I'm uncomfortable because I feel like I'm meeting other people's needs, then I should fix that, you know? And it's not easy. Like, I'm gonna let you guys know now, because like Michael Scott, see, full circle, I really care about what other people think, even though it doesn't look like it sometimes. Like, I really do care, because I don't want people to feel hurt, or I don't want something I do to affect them. So it's very difficult when you have to like uphold those standards. It's almost like your parents, right? I think this really makes sense for if you're a kid right now and you have parents that have really high expectations of you for whatever reason. Like, they want you to become a doctor, or, you know, that's like super stereotypical, right? Asian that wants to become a doctor. You, in your heart of hearts, know that you want to become, I don't know, anything you want to become, like an artist. Like, you want to paint for the rest of your life, and your parents are like, no, you can't do that. And then in your mind, you're like, oh, I'm smart enough to go to school, and I'm smart enough to do science, and I'm smart enough to do math and do all the stuff, so I should just do it because my parents are telling me. But in your hearts of hearts, you know that, like, that's not what you're meant to do, because you're like, oh, I hate it and I don't like it, even if you're good at it, you know? Like, sometimes what you're good at isn't what you're meant to do. And that's fine too. But I think having that understanding is very valid and really tough to come to the conclusion of. And if you are able to figure it out, you should definitely embrace it, because not a lot of times in life you can come to a, I guess, like a standstill and really observe both sides of a situation where you're like, this is the reason why, this is the reason why, and really kind of focus on an answer. And I'm trying to like slow down my life a little bit right now so that I can figure out things, and, you know, it's like a little piece of the puzzle. I don't think it had anything to do with gender, but I do feel like recently I've been becoming very stuck on what people thought of me versus who I am. So in a sense, I've been kind of isolating myself from everyone because of that. Obviously, you guys know that because we've talked about, you know, removing toxic people and all that stuff. And I just don't know when this started happening, where I felt like the need to like, meet all these expectations. This skin's so good. Look how crispy it is. Maybe I've had salmon skin before, but literally one of my favorite things to eat. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share with you guys that, because if anyone's suffering with like feeling like they're stuck a certain way, or like they can't really comprehend who they are, or whatever it is, like whatever emotion, like it's okay. And like I'm also going through it, really trying to figure it out, really putting a lot of emphasis on, you know, self-discovery. But it's not easy. And sometimes like I get trapped in that mentality of like, can I really change to be who I want to be versus who I am and who people want me to be? And I think the solid answer is yes. It just takes a lot of work. I think the hardest part for me is like talking about it and kind of like comprehending it. Like I'm having a huge issue right now in my brain where it's just like blocking. And I think a lot of it has to do with repression. So the issue is like the more I think about how I can't figure this out, the more sad I get. And I don't want to be sad. It's just not who I am, you know? Like if you guys watch my stuff, you know that I'm like full of energy and I care a lot about, you know, the world, you guys, and all that stuff. So when it comes down to it, like I'm not in the best place right now in my life, and there's nothing really wrong, you know. I'm really happy doing everything that I'm doing. I'm very happy with everything that's going on. I just can't put my finger on it. There's just something wrong, and I just wish I could figure it out. All this talk today is becoming like a friggin' therapy session. Sorry, guys. This was on my mind a lot, so I wanted to like talk it out, and I felt like the only way to talk it out is if I was like, talking to someone, in this case you guys. But if you have suggestions for like future video, like mukbang topics, let me know. Like leave me a comment down below. If you have any questions or any struggles or anything, leave it down below. Maybe I can answer it in the next mukbang. It's really fun to make it more like sort of interactive, and it's not just me like sitting and eating and talking to you guys about my problems, which isn't bad either. Like I really appreciate that you guys like care so much about my issues, because I mean, at least someone is, you know, versus me who's trying to repress everything. I've also noticed that like I usually switch over to comedy when I feel unhappy or uncomfortable. C'est la vie. Yeah, I mean, this is the end of the mukbang. If you like it, make sure to make thumbs up so you can do more videos like this. Leave a comment down below on what you want me to talk about next, or your favorite part of the mukbang. And if you want to try this, I'm going to leave, you know, what I ate in the description down below as well as information for Side Chick, which I highly recommend. Like, if you've never had naan chicken, go to this place. Even though it's inside the mall, it's in a really easy part of the food court. Well, not food court, like, at this mall, like, they have this area that's like a food promenade, like a courtyard. And it's near Nordstrom, so park near Nordstrom and then go there. And then you can tell them Soy sent you. And you'll get nothing off, but you'll get a really good meal and a really good treat. So you guys should definitely try it out. And that's it for this one. Thanks for listening to me, guys. You know the drill. Love you always. Bye.